Well, I was running a little experiment with this ochre. And now this stuff, since I put it on, it has been out in the weather, in the rain, and the sun beating down on it. So this is this ochre that I dug out of that gravel pile. And I've actually got quite a little of it, enough for a project that I plan to do. And it's kind of interesting because I do have some, that's not here, but I have some in the shop that I picked out that is a yellow ochre that might be interesting. Like I say, that's for a particular project. Now, this is the ochre mixed with linseed oil. Just those two items. Painted on really nice. Actually works very well. These two are with the charcoal mixed in. This is charcoal and pine tar. This is charcoal and linseed oil. This is charcoal and pine tar, but it didn't really work. But the charcoal and ochre and pine tar is on this panel, and it just simply blackened up the ochre. This is the ochre and pine tar. And I'm real curious, this went on good, and I'm gonna let the experiment run a while to see what I think in the long term on that, but I like it. But this really painted on amazingly well. Like I say, I got quite a little of it. I probably got maybe like a pint of it. But like I say, that's for a particular project I'm making. But for another project I wanted more. So I thought, well, unless I can find out where this exactly is coming from, which gravel pit, I would see if I could buy some. Now this I got online, and this is Mediterranean ochre. Sells for around $50 a pound. This is a half pound. But, interesting stuff. But it's funny because when I was looking for it, well, then I find out, okay, this is used in all kinds of ritual witchcraft, summoning demons and all that nonsense. I say nonsense, but I'm perfectly fine with if they want to play with delusions of superstition, that's fine with me. I don't consider it to be any different from what a lot of you people do in your normal, what you consider normal superstitions. But interesting stuff, and I think I can do something with that. I'll maybe have to mix up a batch and try that as an experiment, because it looks a little lighter, but it's hard to tell until it gets on. But it's interesting, you're looking into history of this stuff, it's been around forever. In witchcraft, they were using it in, it's a substitute for blood in these sacrifices and stuff, Kind of crazy, but, like I say, I consider all that stuff a little loony. But nice that it's available. I'd be curious to see, when I get it out of that gravel pile, it's in these little rocks, kind of. But I wonder if in the gravel pile, it isn't in like veins or something. And this is what it ends up after it goes through the rock crusher and breaks it up. But like I said, this stuff, you can crumble it right up. It's not hard. So if it goes on the road, it disappears immediately. It just crumbles. But interesting stuff. But I'm trying to decide between these two. For an exterior application, I'm thinking the pine tar mix is the way to go. But this really went on very smoothly and covered very well. And it shows no sign of flaking or anything, but I'll give it a little time. Yeah, this stuff when it came, they actually included a pair of rubber gloves with it because they know how that stuff is persistent. But the funny part, after reading all this summoning demons and stuff, making your pentagrams and all this nonsense. What I'm going to use it for is for painting an outhouse, and I tell you, that's the last place I want to be summoning up a demon.